Hello everybody, this is Lisa from Stampin' Created by You. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. I'm just going to give everybody a chance to get logged in. So bear with me. While I'm doing that, tonight we are going to focus on the Color Your Season bundle, the Blended Seasons Clear bundle, or the wood bundle, the framelits that go along with it, and some of our existing colors. So we'll go ahead and get started here in just a minute. While I'm doing that, tonight, give me 1 second. Hopefully the internet's going to work tonight. I have new internet, so I'm just testing everything out to make sure. Hi, Christina. We're going to make some cute cards tonight. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Whoops, wrong thing. Apologize here. Okay, let me go ahead. Hi, Cheryl. How are you doing? I'm going to go ahead and get us started here. Hopefully I'm going to get us started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch to our other computer. I know I had a little bit of a late start getting on here and getting things set up, but tonight we're going to focus on the Color Your Season bundle, the Blended Seasons stamp set, and the framelits. And I'll go ahead and show you those. Or I can put them up here too. You can kind of see the Blended Season. It's a 2-set stamp set. And then if you get the framelits, we're going to be working with those in just a moment. One thing that I'd like to tell everybody, if you don't want to see the comments, you can go ahead and swipe off to the right. Also, if you want to show me a little love, I like little love. Go ahead and hit the hearts or the smiley face if you like something, thumbs up, whatever it may be. If you have questions or concerns, go ahead and leave me your questions, and I will respond after the Facebook Live, because it's a little hard to watch everything at the same time. And then also, too, if you would like to like and share my page, I will send you a set of these cards if you are the lucky winner. So please feel free to share it with all your friends, any groups that you belong to, anybody that you think would like to have an interest in making something special for somebody else. So tonight, we're going to make this cute card. And this is just one of them. Everybody's always asking for masculine cards. And masculine cards, for some reason, I think they're hard for all of us to create, and I'm not sure exactly why. One of the papers that I love to use when creating masculine cards is this wood grain paper. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully the internet is good. It looks like it's still recording, so I think I've overcome that barrier. When we're making this card, I'm going to go ahead and flip us down. Again, if you have any questions or concerns along the way, just leave them and I'll get back with you after the Facebook Live. I'm going to switch us down now. Let me get rid of here we go. All right. Hopefully this will focus. There we go. All right. So the first thing that we're going to need, you're going to cut your paper. It's the normal cut of an 8.5 by 11. You cut it in half at 5.5, and it gives you this piece of paper that is going to be 4 1/4 on the fold by 5.5. And then we just fold that in half as I'm doing here. Pretty easy so far, right? And I'm going to move the good card here that's already finished kind of out of the way so it doesn't get messed up here. And let me go ahead and slide this computer back a little bit so I don't get all jumbled up on that either. Okay, and then I cut a piece. It's 1/4 of an inch smaller on all sides. So you're going to cut this at 5 1/4 by 4. And what we're going to go ahead and do is just layer this on with glue. Now you can use the Tombow glue or my new favorite, and I think I've told you guys about this. I really like the Tombow liquid multi-purpose glue. It just gives you a little bit of time to move things around a little bit before it becomes permanent. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me grab a new bottle. I might have used that one. Sorry about that. Always prepared with this. Always have a couple extra bottles of this on hand. And this liquid glue is going to go a lot further than the roller adhesive Tombow. And you probably don't even have to use as much as I did, but it's just a real light touch. You don't barely have to squeeze the bottle. And then you're going to line this up and center it on your Early Espresso cardstock. Like so. Good thing to do is to make sure your card's opening the right way. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Now I've gone ahead and I've cut some of our pieces out with the Big Shot. And let me go ahead and show you the framelits that we use. This is one of the framelits. Let me slide this out of the way for just a minute so you can see all these. This is one of the framelits that comes in this bundle. And I think I failed to mention to you that this bundle is only available until sold out or until the end of August. So your time is really getting close. So make sure if you want this, you visit my website. My website is www.stampandcreatedbyu, just the letter U.com. And then you can go to the shop button and it will take you to my Stampin' Up! Store. I'm just kind of laying these pieces out so you can see the versatility of this set. This one you're probably wondering, what is that? I'll show you about that one in a minute. I really like these little flourishes that come with it. You get 2 different ones. They go in different directions. Another piece that we're going to be using tonight is this little, it's like a little foliage piece. And you can use that for any of the holidays, even fall, as well as Christmas. And then one of my favorites is this leaf. And we're going to be using this leaf on this card. So this is the set of framelits you get. Now, with the framelits, I'm going to pull out the stamp set a minute. This piece, and I kind of think, I don't know if I can put it a little closer. This is a challenge. But it kind of looks like a tooth or a ghost. So you could use it for other cards. I often thought that you could take the 2 little tags off of it and use it for maybe a Tooth Fairy card or something like that. But the real purpose of it is for the bell that's on the stamp set. It cuts that out just perfectly, as you can see here, as I laid it right over top of the bell stamp image. And then you can use that on your cards. And I'm going to show you some other cards that I've done. Lots of really cute verses in this that you can use on your cards. Thank you, wishing you all the best, Merry Christmas. And the other pack that comes with it, you're the friend everyone wishes they had, I just miss you, and congrats. So lots of choices, and it does represent every season. Let me go ahead. I'm going to slide these framelits out of the way. I just wanted you to see what came in this kit. And when I was cutting out the pieces, this is our next piece that we're going to use. And I use this middle size label. That's what's going to give us the wood grain piece there. And then for our white piece, which I have right here, I use the small piece. And the nice thing about these, you can see they're all stitched. They really give you a nice edging around your paper. You can flip them over, you can see the other side. But I use, like I said, these two, the middle and the smallest framelit for this particular card. So let me go ahead. The next thing we're going to do on this card here, we have so far our background. We are going to pop up, and you can kind of see which side you want here. I kind of like it so it matches, so it kind of looks like it's just offset a little bit and raised. I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals, and those of you that stamp a lot, you probably love these things. They make it real easy to give dimension to your project. I like to use a lot of them. They're just fun. Not so much fun picking up these little pieces afterwards if you have a big class or club, but... And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick this right down. I'm going to have it more towards the top than the bottom because I have a nice label we're going to put on this card. Okay. Next, we're going to do a little bit of stamping on these two pieces. I'm just going to slide this off to the side right now. The first one we're going to do, let me grab my Memento ink. Got a couple other projects we're going to do tonight too. So I have them in little bins here. I just happen to slide it in the other bin. Okay. Get out our Memento, and I'm going to do the thank you because that's pretty easy. I'm just going to make sure that I have it the right direction. And I'm using our Stampin' foam mat because you really get a good image every time you stamp. And I'm going to turn this around because I kind of like these little knots at the top of this piece of wood grain. And I'm just going to center this, and excuse my head if it gets in there. So I have my thank you stamped. Let me kind of turn that around for you. I'm going to sit that off to the side. Then I'm going to grab my little wheat leaves. I think they're wheat. Before I do that, though, I almost forgot to show you the coloring aspect. And I'm using a couple of the new colored pencils, and I've also brought in a few existing. And when using these watercolor pencils, I like to use the blender pens. It just smooths everything out and makes it look real pretty for you. So I'm going to start out with the Cajun Craze pencil at the top, and I'm just going to kind of go dark here. And then I'm going to bring in the crushed curry. And then I wanted to finish it up with a little bit of garden green. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of color on the very bottom. Kind of make it look like grass a little bit. And then you're going to take the blender pen. And see how nice that's just smoothing that out? And I'm not even worried about the color change here because I really want it to look like it was just put together. So everything works and blends nicely with each other here. And I can even go back. Like I see I got a lot of green down here. If I want to add more yellow, maybe a little bit darker, I can just come back in over top of that. And again, take the blender pen and it just blends it right out. Okay, I think that color looks pretty good. Now you can also use our watercolor pens that actually will expel water, and you can use watercolor paper with these pencils also, and it looks really nice. So now we're going to take our wheat stamp, and I'm going to stamp 2 of them. Really close. And this makes it really nice, is then you don't have to really color the wheat in. I'm going to set that aside so we can get that out of the way and move the ink because otherwise it'll end up all over me, I'm sure. Now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to take a little bit more of my liquid glue. And just put it over top. I'm just going to kind of center it where I want it. Hopefully everything looks lined up for you guys. There we go. And then I'm going to come in and put a little label on at the bottom that says thank you. I'm going to kind of squeeze that right up underneath there a little bit. And then my last thing is to put the leaf on. Now there's a couple different things you can do when you have intricate items like this. You can take a sponge and just put a little of adhesive on your silicone mat and just sponge the glue on to the item. Or we have this fine tip glue pen. And I love this, but you have to make sure after every use you are putting this back in this little tiny hole here. Otherwise it will get clogged. So for tonight, I'm going to use our little tiny glue to kind of let you see what it looks like. It's almost as if you'd be working on like model cars or something using something this fine. And it is very sticky. And you don't have to do it all over, but... And then I'm just going to lay this really pretty leaf right here on the edge. And this is our card. Great masculine card. I think that anybody receiving this is a thank you. You could even do like happy birthday. There's not really a happy birthday in this set, but I think that you probably have enough other stamps. And if not, give me a buzz and I can set you up with a birthday stamp. So I'm going to move this one out of the way. We have many more to do here. I'm going to speed things up a little bit. Before I do anything, though, like I told you all, I'm going to put this back on so we don't end up with a mess. Okay, the next card I have for us is a Christmas card. And like I told you last week, Christmas is almost a few months away, not a little bit over, a little bit under 6 months here, but we got to get ready to do our cards. We got to have this done so we can get them out in the mail. So we're not stressed around the holidays. So I'm going to show you this cute Christmas card. Very simple, and you'll notice here I use the reverse. The cutout portion I popped out of the Very Vanilla, and I used the base to go around and create kind of like a 3D effect. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this one. I'm going to set that off to the side. I use Mary Merlot for the color of red here. I love this new color. Great Christmas color. And there's some new papers that are coming out in the holiday catalog. If you do not have a holiday catalog and you need a holiday catalog, you need to message me so I can get you one. I'll need your address in order to send it to you in the mail. So please let me know if you would like one. There are so many good things in there. It's hard to choose what you're going to purchase. I'd like the whole catalog, but unfortunately, financially, that would be a big out-of-pocket expense. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to attach the crumb cake. And again, these are just your normal dimensions. Sorry about that. Just the normal dimensions. This crumb cake piece, ooh, I got a little bit too much there. This crumb cake piece is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, that should be enough. And again, I'm just kind of going to center it on here. Now this card is going to open up the opposite direction. So it's going to go like this. The next layer that we're going to put on is the Very Vanilla, and notice I cut the center out of that. So when I cut this, I just cut my piece of paper to the size I wanted, and then I centered this so I'd equal around all sides, and I ran it through the Big Shot. And then I have an extra piece of Very Vanilla that's already cut out and stitched that I can use for something else. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue this down. Again, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I often wondered how many cards I could actually make with this liquid glue. I make quite a few, and it's hard to, I think that's the first bottle I've run out in quite a while. Okay, then we're going to take, in the stamp set, I'll show you the image so you can see it. The holly and the berries, that's the one that we're going to use on the card. And instead of doing that in black, we're going to use this new color, Shaded Spruce. And these are our new stamp pads, and I really like them. They're easy to open and easy to use. I'm just going to stamp in there. And the nice thing, one thing that I didn't realize until really playing with this stamp set, these curvatures fit like right in to your cutout portion. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down. And then I'm going to do it again on the bottom. I'm just going to turn it around. And again, it fits in there pretty good. I'm trying to line it up without having my head in there too far. Get to see all my hairs. Thank goodness they're not gray right now. Okay, so then we have that portion done. And we're going to take, I did not have a Merlot Stampin' Write marker. So I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler, and it does look just fine on here. And I'm just going to color in these little berries here. I think oftentimes I use the Memento with the blends, and I really like the look of those, but I forget to stamp images in just the color and just let the outline create your image for you. And my coloring is not going to be perfect on here, folks, because I'm trying to hurry a little bit. I'm sure you'll get the gist. Couple more. Okay, so we have our berries colored. The next thing we're going to do, I have a piece of Very Vanilla. It's 1 inch by 4. And with this, I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas on it. I'm going to shut this stamp pad up before I get ink all over again. We're done using that, so I can put that over there in my basket. Ooh, almost made a big mistake there. Make sure I have Merry Christmas going the right direction. Stamp that down. Okay. And then I'm going to take dimensionals and put this on. So let me grab those. And I have a pack right here too. I always keep multiple packs. I don't know if you guys have this problem or not, but when I'm creating things, I can be using my Big Shot with a plate on top, take the paper out, and for some reason I cannot locate the top plate. And then I'll go about, I'll get another plate out, and sure enough, it magically appears. Or you lose a stamp set, and you look on the bottom of one of your stamp pads to find it attached. Or a framelit, and find it attached to the bottom of your stamparatus. So, don't give up hope if you lose something. I'm sure you'll find it, but I always keep extras of these so I can make sure that if I happen to lose one, I think I'm going to use the fine tip glue on this again. These are pretty fine. Sorry you get to look at my poorly painted nails here. I haven't had a chance to get them done. I'm just going to kind of move these in to where I want it. Oops. And it doesn't take very much glue at all. You really could use these little branches for just about anything, just to add a little bit of greenery. And one more. I don't know if you guys realized it. And I did this in the wrong direction. Oh well, we're going to put it on anyway. Should have went the other way. Put the glue on the wrong side. I have both a Facebook group and a Facebook page. So if you'd like to follow me, you'll get notifications when these Facebook Lives come up, if I'm running a special or a sale. So this would be a great card had I not made it oops. Oopses are okay. It's okay to make creative mistakes. It still is a beautiful card, and probably if I sent this out, nobody even notice it. So this is our second card. So this time, as I mentioned, we did the cutout effect using that. Our next card and last card, let me grab the bin here and get this stamp pad out of the way before I end up with that ink on me. I'm trying to be sneaky and not let you see them before I pull them out. I'm not very good at that. Oh, and let me go ahead and I'm going to put the cap back on my fine tip glue pen. You can tell I've had a couple of these that have dried out, right? I'm using the markers. Get those off the table. Okay, for this particular card, we're going to use the Highland Heather stamp pad. We're going to use the Highland Heather blends. We're going to use the Old Olive blends. We're going to use Crush Curry Stampin' Right marker. And in the new holiday catalog, we will have Crush Curry blends, which will be nice. And we're going to use Memento. And we are also going to use the mini striped ribbon. Isn't that just lovely? And this is really easy to work with. It really adds a lot of dimension to your card when we're done here. Okay, so here's the card. I dismiss you. And again, I use the blends. I'm using Gorgeous Grape for the second layer. And the piece that we can cut out with the framelits, and I have an extra piece that I can use as a base the next time. And on this one, I use the large framelit to cut it out. So let's go ahead and take a stab at making this one. So again, the Highland Heather You're going to cut it at 5.5 across your 8.5 sheet, hamburger style. And I should have my bone folder here too. And then we're going to put, before we put down our gorgeous grape, we're going to tie a ribbon around it. And I will tell you, I am not the best ribbon tyer in the world, but we're going to make this work. And I have my ribbon shears, so I'm just going to snip that. You might need them in a minute. And I find the easiest way to do this, actually I'm going to turn it upside down. I wrap my piece around. I'm going to get it all straight here, the way I'm going to want it to lay. And then I just do 2 loops, and it's the whole rabbit ear, bunny in the hole thing. But I didn't cut it too short. 1 second here. I might not have it even. There we go. That'll be a little better. Let's try this again. There we go. And then a loop. And a loop. I still end up with one side too big, but that's okay. That'll be a perfect little bow. Let me just trim off my excess here. There. Okay, now I can go ahead and put this down on my Highland Heather cardstock, which is a lighter purple. So let's do that. We might need to move that over a little bit, so I just slid it a little, and maybe up just a tad. So I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue again. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to plop this down on here, kind of center it as you're putting it down. There you go. And then I'm going to slide it out of the way for just a moment. Then we're going to take our Memento ink. I'm going to ink this up. Okay. And this, too, fits the curvature. I don't know if you can see it. But you can see how it kind of fits around. If you get this stamp set and you play with it, you'll be like, oh, that is so neat how that all works. Okay. There we go. We have a beautiful image there. And then I have a little stamp somewhere. Where did I put it? Aha, I didn't take it out of the bin. Go. And we're going to do I Miss You. I'm going to do this in the Highland Heather. I'm just going to put that in here like this. I'm going to make sure I have it the right way. And I just kind of snuck it in here. It doesn't matter if it overlaps the flowers a little bit. There we go. And I did get a little ring around the rubber there, so we'll just have to deal with that. Again, nothing's ever perfect, right? Let me go ahead and shut these up so we don't get that ink. Make the situation even worse. It always happens when somebody's watching you too. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to color in this card. And I'm just going to turn this one so you can kind of see how I colored it in. Now, when I use the blends, I'm probably not going to color this whole thing because I don't want to take too much of your time tonight. But I always start out with the darker color. I know some people start out with the lighter color. And there's 2 ends on these blends. There's a pointed end that's a little bit thinner for fine lines. And then there's your brush end. And I really like using the brush end. That's my preference. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring in the spots that I think are going to be a little darker. I think it's darker around the center of the flower. And then I'm going to take my light Highland Heather, and I also like to work in circles. I think that it blends the colors together a little bit better. Now the nice thing, if I want to come in and I want to add a little bit more of the dark, let's say around this fold where they meet, I can do that. And again, just take my brush and work it all together here. Now, if you ever make a mistake like this on a card and you don't feel like you want to send it, I'll tell you the easiest way to fix it is to cut a little strip of paper and just put it over top. Maybe layer it. Like in this case, I would probably do maybe a piece of Highland Heather and very vanilla. Okay, so you get the idea on that. And then just to show you kind of how I do the green, come in with my dark, and I know it's going to be darker down in this area where these meet. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the light color. Just kind of blend it all together. And these are alcohol based, so when you use these markers, you do have to use the Memento ink. If you use like the StazOn is water based, so it will go ahead and bleed, which I'm sure you don't want to happen. So let's pretend that I've colored this whole thing in for you. Oh, and then I did use the crushed curry here in the middle. And it's kind of neat because it picks up some of the purple too. Okay, so then I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to plop these on the back. And no worry, when you're coloring the blends, it's going to go through the paper. Just make sure that you have either your silicone mat down or you have one of the Stampin' pads that we offer here. They have the rip and tear sheets. It's really economical to have those. I use them for my clubs so that I can put them down on the table, so when people create, they don't get it all over the table, number one, but then if somebody else swaps seats with you, you know, if there's glue or something on it, they can just flip it over. You don't have a mess all over the table. Okay. And we just stick this down like this here. And if this were all colored in, our finished card would look like this. I'll bring it up. Whoops, I'll bring the finished one up so you can kind of see it. And the perfect touch to this, and I didn't bring it over to my table, would be to add a little bit of Wink of Stella. Clear Wink of Stella would make it sparkle and shine. Now, I did promise you a couple other Christmas cards I want to share with you. A Christmas and a fall card. Let me grab them here. This is a reindeer card that I made, and you'll see I use the glimmer paper, and I use the finial, and it really does look like snow. And I use the blends on the deer, and the little bow, that's one of the framelits that's in. And you'll see down here I use the banner, and I layered on top of a piece of DSP. So that makes a really cute Christmas card. And I also use the little finial pieces down here at the bottom too. And then the last card I want to show you tonight is this one here. It's a thank you card. And I cut out the leaves, one in the gold, and then one in the rich raspberry. This is a real rich card. I use crushed curry, rich raspberry, for the leaves when I colored those in. And you'll notice here I use the leaves as a type of embossing. So I just glued those down again with the fine tip glue pen. Now, I do have a hostess code. So if you want to order any of these products, again, visit my website. Now I'll go ahead and I'm going to pop this up here for you. Oops, sorry about that. I gave you the wrong one. Stampin' Created by You. And let me give you the hostess code. It's WMHUK or UMK for you. And if you would go ahead and enter that in on my website, it's again www.stampincreatedbyu.com, and then you go to the shop button and it'll actually take you to my Stampin' Up! Store. And once you get done placing your order, you will go ahead and you're going to enter that. And right before checkout, it'll go ahead and apply that code for the month. And if you do that, I will put you in for a drawing. I have a few embellishments that I'm going to hand out on the next Facebook Live, which will be next Wednesday at, I think I'm going to try moving it maybe to 7 o'clock. I think 8 o'clock maybe conflicting with some people's schedules. So I'll probably move it to 7 if that works for everybody. And if not, you can always catch the replay. But I want to thank you for dropping in tonight and making some cards with me. And please, give paper crafting a try. It's not hard. As you can see from the cards we made tonight, those are real easy cards. If you've never used a Big Shot and you want to try it out, I'd be happy to show you how to do that. If you've never used the blends and you want to try them out, all you have to do is message me. And right on my Facebook pages and groups, there's a message button. Please go ahead and just message me and I will get back with you and try to answer all your questions. I also run weekly and monthly clubs and I have a newsletter. Again, if you'd like to be a part of that newsletter that lets you know what's going on for the month, when things are, for the next several months, please let me know and I'll add you. All I need is your email address to do that. Well, I want to thank you for joining us tonight with Stampin' Created by You, and you have a nice evening.